Yo, still news. What's the diz? Here, man, it's Friday Eve. Hopefully, tomorrow go at this type of pace and I'm able to get up out of here. Planning on getting my hair cut tomorrow, man. It's been a what? Since July, since I got this shit chopped down. And it's starting to get a little too out of whack, man. I'm just looking real scraggly right now, man. So, gotta go expose my big forehead, man. Once again. But P game, man, I want to get into this shit, man. And that's just man, listen, man. Shout out to Ring IQ, my man Julius, and he said something real profound. If you want laughable talking points and silly talking points, look no further than the American boxing public, because it's ridiculous, man. We up here don't know how to separate emotion from being objective. I cannot. When Wilder fought Joseph Parker, before they fought and the fight actually reached that 12-round duration, I was like, Joseph Parker is going to style on this nigga until Wilder catches him. You got to think, you did like Joseph Parker. That was a year after he lost to got knocked out by Joe Joyce. Everybody thought he was pretty much man, it's about time for Parker to go sit down somewhere. And he came back. He had three? He had three fights. I forget who the three of the fights were. One of them was the I can't remember the dude. It was the dude that Jairo Pataya fought on the Babar and Better BF undercard. I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but it was him and like two other dudes. And Wilder was supposed to be, all right, man. This is gonna let us know whether or not you ready to compete on the world stage again, at world level. And even at the press conference, he was like, "Yo, he's cool and everything, but you in the way." Like, you in the way, my nigga. Like, you in my way. You impeding on my progress. And we saw how that went. And I remember watching this fight wide-eyed, like, oh my God, if you can maintain this for the whole fight, bruh. And sure enough, that's what he did. Y'all know I'm not a fan of Wilder. At all. At fucking all. That's just a fact. But I didn't allow my greater judgment to usurp reality, or what I perceived as reality. I'm a much bigger fan of Joseph Parker than I am of Deontay Wilder. And he went out there and he pulled a rabbit. Or can we even call it a rabbit? I don't even think we can call it a rabbit because Joseph Parker has been in with far better opposition. Nonetheless, that's besides the point. That's besides the point. The fact of the matter is, I put my emotions and my personal dispositions towards a fighter to the side and tried to be objective as I possibly can. When you have a former multi-division champion and an incredible analysis tell you that Madrimov is a better fighter than Canelo Alvarez with 11 fights, I'm like, on what grounds are you making that accusation on, man? Paulie Malignaggi, wow, he's been very much so problematic as far as his social politics are concerned. The George Floyd situation and just a multitude of other things that it's like, oh, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody looking in any other direction other than the police killing George Floyd, that's automatically going to be confrontation. I don't give a fuck what type of paradigm you try to present to the argument. If you are looking at anything else other than that man having knees on his back and his neck and all that shit, I'm looking at you funny style. Definitely. So he's very much so been problematic. But even in that case, I can put that to the side and say, the dude has an incredible analysis on the sport of boxing. He has a really good take. Paulie Malignaggi is one of the few commentators that I've personally heard that is able to give you a very accurate and astute a round by round breakdown. As not even a round, just completely analyze the fight as it's happening. To where if you're sitting like back in the 20s and in the 30s when they didn't have TV to watch these sporting events on, all they had was their radio. All right, so if you're sitting at the radio and you're listening to the fight, you can get a very good description of what's happening in the ring, predicated off Paulie Malignaggi's assessment of the fight and his analysis on the fight, and a round by round breakdown as of what's going on, punch for punch. what they're doing at the time they're doing it, what they're looking to set up. He has an incredible analysis. And a lot of those fighters, a lot of those, those commentators are really good at, they're really good commentators. They're really good at, they're really good at, giving a proper analysis as the fight is going on. And I think he just stands above the rest of them. Whether we're talking Lampley, Algieri, Sergio Mora, Kellerman, Ward, Roy Jones, George Foreman, anybody you can think of, I think Paulie Malignaggi is a better, analysis, analyst than all of those guys. And all of those are great analysis, in-fight analysis or analysts, commentators. So I hold his, I hold his ability to unpack a fight in high esteem. But that doesn't negate the fact that you still have a personal bias. And this is once again why I don't hang on to the word of athletes. I'm not just about to say, oh well, I think he the best and he think he the best and he's a professional, so therefore my opinion automatically thwarts yours. That's just not how it goes. Because as we see, these athletes come with their own personal biases. And he's had, a bit of a little bit of an axe to grind with Canelo since the Golovkin fight. He's definitely had that. He's definitely had that. You dig? I've seen it. I remember watching him and Johnny Nelson go back and forth, and it was a real dope debate. And they both hit on real good talking points. And he's had an axe to grind ever since then, and it's just exacerbated now that he just won't fight David Benavidez. And because he won't fight David Benavidez, that right there, I think, is really pushing the issue. Like, bro, you letting this dude ruffle your feathers that much. You dig? So, yeah, man, it's wacky for someone of your ilk to sit there and say Israel Madrimov in 11 fights is a better fighter than Canelo Alvarez. And he'll be able to, Israel Madrimov was able to make Bud think in manners that Canelo won't be able to make him think. And I'm like, this is why that shit is just so ridiculous to me. And you should know better, because Paulie Malignaggi is a dude who's on record with saying, as you jump up and weight. Now, he did concede to the fact that the weight classes are there for a reason. He did concede to that. And he is edging Canelo going into this fight. But the thing is this. When you jump up in weight, that's automatically more thinking right there. You're going to have to think more so than what you did than as a weight that you're comfortable at. You're going to have to do that. And another, just this thing, you're going to have to think, all right, man, like if I let go of this shot right here, I'm worried more. I have to think about the counter. So I have to really come up with a sophisticated scheme to get this shot to the target without putting myself in harm's way. We're going to have that to worry about. You're going to have to worry about, should I let these many punches go in combination so I don't have to worry about gassing later on down the stretch? You're going to have that to worry about. You're going to have to worry about, do I want to hit this dude super hard or I just want to point him? Even though just my natural, my natural instincts as a fighter from the street, it's you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. So when Canelo go oops upside that head, am I going to sit here, plant my feet, and go balls to the wall with this motherfucker, or am I just going to say, all right, cool, you can have that? I'm going to triple that up, though, you dig, as the ground progresses in the next minute. So that one hard shot that you hit me with, I'm going to hit you about 4 or 5 more shots to equate to that one shot. You dig? He's going to be thinking in manners that, he's going to be thinking in there, in front of Canelo in the same capacity that he was thinking in front of not Malignaggi, but Madrimov. And Madrimov, there's no greater, when you say better, you got to think about it like this. And what department is he better than? Madrimov is a switch hitter. Yes, he has that at his disposal, and Canelo does not. And Madrimov has feet as well, and Canelo doesn't have that at his disposal. So yeah, in those two regards, yeah, he has that at his disposal. He has those skill sets that Canelo doesn't have. But who has he stood in front of with besides Bud? And that's another thing right there. If if a fighter jumped up from a weight class beneath him and beat Canelo, what would that say about Canelo? And what would be the general consensus surrounding that dude? How does Madrimov get praised as a better fighter than a pound for pound fighter? Top 5 pound for pound fighter, current unified, former undisputed, four-way world champion, my personal opinion, the baddest Mexican who ever lived. How does he still get crowned as being a better fighter than Canelo Alvarez when he lost to a dude who moved up in his premier fight in the division? I just how do you go about saying some wild shit like that? You dig? This goes to the bias that I'm speaking about, because there is no only in a situation involving Canelo can you sit here and say that Israel Madrimov is a better fighter than Canelo because he was able to force Bud to think in the manner that he was making him think in, even though he in a loss, he's still being put on a pedestal in a loss. It just like it's cringeworthy watching you dudes talk, because it's like, bro, and it's not just fighters, man. It's, just society has gotten so lax with just, just being you can be biased. You can be biased, but have just a sense of objectivity across the board. Paulie Malignaggi was objective in his thoughts of how he thought who would win the fight between Bud and Canelo. But it's also, it's that's surface level right there. Like, yeah, he'll win the fight because it's and that and the third. But it's the other talking points that, that he was making as he was leading up to that shit. Like Madrimov being better than Canelo. And, with nothing to base that off of. No factuals, no actual factuals to base that off of. You dig? And he's better than Canelo, even though he lost to a dude moving up in weight. That just does not make sense to me, man. It's so childish. It's so fucking childish, bro. It's so childish to make your teeth hurt. Like, damn, my nigga, man, you killing me right now. You killing me. You know how many people I'm having an argument with somebody on Facebook right now telling me that Bud is gonna make Canelo look how make Canelo look how he did Spence. And I'm sitting here like, bro, how are you gonna make Bud? How is he gonna make Canelo look like he did Spence when he couldn't make Madrimov look like he did Spence? Be objective. That's all I'm saying. If Bud wins this fight, it's gonna look like how he did Madrimov or Victor Postol. Or even Raymundo Beltran, how he was just peppering him with the jab. It could possibly look like that. All I'm saying is just have a sense of objectivity in this talk, when it comes to this shit, man, because I just, I can't take it, man, listening to you motherfuckers. It's really annoying, man. It's real, it's childish banter, coming from you dudes. And when do we get back to a place where we're objective, man? When you stand on righteousness and principle and truth, your life is easier. So you telling me that Canelo was going to be made to look like how Spence did, even though he couldn't make Madrimov look like how he did with Spence? How is it that he's going to make Canelo look like that when Madrimov was at 54? He still got to jump up another 14 pounds to go holler at Canelo. Context is key. Context is key. So it's sickening to sit here and listen to a dude who was a former champion sit here and say, come up with the narratives that they're coming up with, bro. When you get on any sort of media, you have an obligation to those who follow you to speak truth to power with them. Because you don't know, like, you could be their introduction into the sport. And you want their introduction to the sport to be sullied with narratives and just, conjecture, bro. Like, that's the dumbest shit in the world. And you'll lead that motherfucker astray. Like, now he on these forums trying to interject himself into an argument looking dumb as fuck. Nigga, you do not know what you're talking about. And as the conversation progresses, he gonna realize how stupid he looks. because he's parakeeting the dumb shit that your ass is saying. I'm just saying, my nigga, like, let's just be righteous. I don't get why that's such a hard thing to be. Just be righteous. Just be objective, man. That's all I'm asking. Be objective. You don't have to like a fighter. You don't have to like that nigga, man, but just be objective. God, that's not a hard ask. Just say, nah. Just say, nah, Israel Madrimov is not on the level of a Canelo Alvarez. There's nothing that Canelo doesn't do. Well, there is, but with those skill sets that Madrimov has at his disposal, who's to say that he won't beat a dude on the level of a Danny Jacobs or Erislandy Lara? Who's to say he won't beat a dude on the level of an Austin Trout or Angulo or a Liam Beefy Smith? Who's to say that he'll do that with those skill sets? People come to the ring with vast amounts of skill set, definitely, bro, but it ends up being to no avail because you may not be. You have it at your disposal, but you may not be as effective at with those skill sets as you would like to think you are. You might not be effective like that once you start moving up in the rankings. Sometimes the motherfucker is just more thorough than you and what it is that they do. Golovkin doesn't have the skill set of a Canelo Alvarez. Golovkin doesn't counterpunch like that. Golovkin doesn't have good upper body movement on the level to the degree of a Canelo Alvarez. He ain't Danny Jacobs as well. Danny Jacobs has real good feet and was a bit and switch hitting capability. He lost to Golovkin. He had that same skill set in there with Canelo. He lost. He lost. Bells and whistles don't always mean, oh, he's better. It doesn't. Let's see you do that at the highest level. Did Israel Madrimov do it at the highest level? Yeah. And was he effective with it? Yeah. But he just came up short. He came up short. It's literally people arguing with me that Bud didn't stop him because he wanted to lure Canelo into a fight. And it's just the most laughable, bro. That's not how you lure another combatant into a fight. That's just, I don't know, y'all are running with this David Benavidez shit, and it's just really clouding y'all judgment. You do not lure another Spartan into a fight by looking lesser than. You just don't do that. You don't do that. That's just not how it works. That didn't work when Danny Jacobs and Golovkin fought. It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work when Canelo said, yeah, man, Golovkin, you next, bro. It didn't work. When Floyd stunned on Canelo, you don't need to be looking at another outboxer, a dude who's economical with his punches and really defensive first and defensive minded. That's not where we're going. That's not the direction we're going in. Nah, I need that fade, Lara. That's not how you sway a fighter into a fight, by looking less than, just looking lesser than. That's just not how you do it, bro. Bud didn't stop that dude because Madrimov was just simply durable, and he's a lot better than folks would like for him to, would like to believe that he is. He's better than people are trying to give him credit for. That's a good fighter. He's a damn good fighter. And even still, that's a testament to Bud. He won the fight. I don't think you can make an argument that that it was a draw. I personally had it like 7-5. But that doesn't mean that, shit, a lot of people felt that it was, Madrimov won that fight. And I'm not mad at them if they feel like that, because it was that competitive. But what does that say about a dude who jumps up in weight and is able to give somebody that type of fight, bro? That's a testament to Bud's greatness. So this ain't no shade at Bud at all. Not to the champ. I'm not throwing shade at the champ. This is about, fact checking all you niggas who come with narratives. You end up looking, you look foolish saying the shit that you say. You look real foolish saying the shit that you say when you're supposed to be. You get paid to do this shit. You're on multiple platforms giving a boxing analysis for you to come out and say some wild shit like this, bro. It's really unbecoming of somebody of your ilk. So I'm just saying, I just implore you dudes, man, just be objective, man. It don't hurt to be. It costs you nothing to be objective. You don't want to be one of them niggas who's just trying to go, go with the narratives, bro, because you have a disdain for somebody. Nah, man, just stay in truth and righteousness. You dudes is pathetic, man. That's all I gotta say about it, man. Oh, this dude going the wrong way. Yikes. I'm out, man. Deuces.